Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes for more audience to joining us today. I think, yeah, good morning, Cynthia. And thank you, Jack, for presenting to us today. And shall we start? I think maybe we should start, right? Okay, yes, okay. Hello everyone and welcome. And my name is Haiyan Li. I work at Purdue and I'm the chair-elect of TESOL called IS. And I will be the moderator today. It's my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Zachary Kinzler, and the Director of Solutions of Engineering at Boodle Box. Zach is very passionate about intersection of AI, education, and global collaboration. And his work focuses on creating secure and sustainable AI tools and that empower both educators and students. So he has presented at major conferences across the country, and I met Zach at the Orlando this summer, right? At a Teaching and Learning with AI conference. So he has also served as a keynote speaker at multiple hackathons exploring how AI can promote and improve education worldwide. So welcome, Zach, and yeah, so it's your time.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate the introduction. Super excited to be here with you today. Kind of just a little overview of what we're doing. I'm going to go through a little presentation about why Boodlebox does what we do, and then kind of just walk through the platform as itself, as it is. And it's probably going to take me about 30, 40 minutes, and then we'll leave lots of time for question and answers at the end, just to kind of talk about it. A little background about myself. Great introduction. My name is Zach Kinzler. I'm the Senior Solutions Engineer here at Boodlebox. I like to say I was in college before and after ChatGPT. I was a junior when ChatGPT came out. I got a degree in Industrial and Systems Engineering and a master's in Business Analytics and Data Science from the University of San Diego. When I was in grad school, one thing is I just started interviewing college kids. I worked as an AI ML engineer, and I realized that I like people a lot more than darkrooms and computers, kind of is my joke, and that led me to interviewing a ton of college students about how they're using AI in the classroom. And that's how I landed here at Boodlebox. I like to say I've talked to just about more people than anybody about how AI's intersection with education. I started about a week or two after ChatGPT came out, and I haven't stopped since then. I'm going to jump into Boodlebox, but if anyone ever has any questions on the lots of interviews I did, I'm happy to talk about it, learn lots of interesting things, and that's actually why I do what I do here at Boodlebox. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Boodlebox. Boodlebox is a collaborative AI operating system. So we're going to get into like why we do what we do and what it is, but wholeheartedly, it is a platform that allows you access to all of the large language models in a single space in a FERPA, HIPAA, GDPR compliant environment, along with assignments and custom bots, which we will get into. But our mission is to partner with educators, students, and professionals to empower lifelong learning with AI and AI readiness. I like to say we pride ourselves in teaching a technology, not a singular tool. And our partners with higher education, we are currently working with about 42,000 faculty at over 75 different institutions, with 100 different institutions kind of incurring in purchasing site-wide licenses. We work with about 5 institutions that have bought Boodlebox for all faculty, student, and staff. And the one thing I did want to say is we have kind of not a huge group here. So if anyone has any questions while I'm talking, happily feel free to interrupt. And I would love to kind of dive into what people are interested in. But I kind of want to touch on the story so far with AI in education. It's been a very interesting one. I'm sure everyone here has been following this. But what happened, right? ChatGPT, Claude, big tech kind of just came into the classroom as it does, right? So big AI companies targeted students directly with free tools. I like to put it in quotes. It was very interesting. ChatGPT released a study about 9 months after it came out that stated about 85% of their users were like free college students. So it's wild, right? These AI companies released this technology and they just gave it away for free, and all of your college students started using it. And students became unwitting beta testers in a live educational environment. And the results are, as I'm sure all of you understand, a loss of pedagogical control, academic integrity chaos, and no institutional control of this new technology, how we're using it, as well as inequitable access. One of the big things I like to say is when I interviewed all these students, the number one thing I found is the only kids that got caught using AI were the ones that, what I say, couldn't afford the good stuff. uh, how it's going now. So educators are kind of trying to take back control of the classroom, right? So what educators figured out is that teaching with AI is very important. Process over product is also really important, right? I like to say we are now a B, everybody is a B minus at everything, right? If I wanted to go write a podcast about playing the ukulele in Swahili, I could do that. But it's more important about understanding the process of why and how we do things. Uh, Assessments changing, right? Grade the chats. Some cool, and these are just some educators that we work with that are mentioned that are doing these things. But personalized learning, incredibly valuable. AI can teach math in terms of sports, diesel mechanics, all the different things. Radical transparency, meaning you can work and learn with your students, not just teachers teaching students, students also teaching teachers. Active learning environments and productive struggle is also very important in this new day and age. And the big question is the AI operating system in your institution. So every university controls systems. You need a controlled system for student data, and they need something that can connect with the learning management system. Okay, continue. And the really thing that's very important here at Boodlebox is that we believe humans and AI work best together. Boodlebox was built as a collaborative AI operating system for lifelong learning and work with AI, which means multiple human beings and multiple large language models in one place. And this is where I'm going to talk about kind of the cross-cultural collaboration that we're working on right now. And there's just a few things that are really important that we kind of talk about. So domain expertise, right? You need to have domain expertise. Like I mentioned, we are all a B minus at everything. And this is all to be AI, like an AI ready graduate. Apologies, but AI enabled, knowing when and how to use AI responsibly is incredibly important. And then human excellence, right? Being human is the new killer app, is what I kind of like to say. And especially in a world full of AI. So to get domain expertise, you need to be teaching and learning with AI. To be AI enabled, you need to be teaching and learning about AI so students can learn about what this technology is. And collaboration in human AI teams, right? We need to be able to teach our students to work with multiple human beings and multiple AIs in one place. And all of this is very important because the process is more important than the product now, is what we like to say. So all of this domain expertise, AI enabled, and human excellence is all about process over product. And the solution is a collaborative AI operating system. So everything I'm about to show you here in Boodlebox, you get access to every single large language model that exists, besides Grok. But every single big large language model in one place in a safe environment. And institutionals get control. So we have a HECVAT, we have a SOC 2, we're FERPA compliant, GDPR compliant. And then a transparent infrastructure, right? So you can see how all of this stuff works. We can give you insights into our security, and it's not a black box. And then this allows for pedagogical innovation. And we have some things with AI literacy that teach faculty and students how to use AI while they're using AI in Boodlebox. So now we are going to jump into the platform itself. Can everyone see my screen? Great. So I'm going to jump in. This is Boodlebox. So first I want to touch on AI tools. So these are all custom bots that help you do exactly what they say they do. And the thing I kind of like to talk about here is we are about enabling institutions to effectively roll out AI. In some situations, faculty don't know how to use it, but they need something that they can derive value out of it immediately, right? So what I can do is I can jump onto these AI tools and I can generate a syllabus, learning outcome, assessment design assistant. And the thing that's very important about Boodlebox is you can change the experience. So if I change the experience to student, these will change. If I change the experience to workforce, these will also change. And the thing I like to highlight is that most education softwares, AI education softwares, have two settings, right? It's that faculty and student and then or faculty and staff and then student. But here on Boodlebox, we have a bunch more. So although we are 110% focused on higher education, about a third of our users are just random people that enjoy safe, collaborative artificial intelligence. So the importance of that is that when your students are learning how to use Boodlebox, when they graduate, they'll be literate in a tool that they can use after school. So we're one of 7 softwares approved to be used in the U.S. House of Representatives. I work but with NATO, some really, really, really cool organizations. And it's something that your students are learning that they will be able to use at work. So I'm going to jump in with perplexity. I'm going to say, tell me about some recent AI news. And while perplexity is going, I'm going to walk through all of the models we have available here on Boodlebox. So we have unlimited access, no token limits to all of OpenAI's ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude. And I kind of like to touch on how Boodlebox works, right? So think when you're in ChatGPT, think of it like driving the ChatGPT car, right? When you press go, it burns gas in the engine. The engine is inherently what makes the car go forward. So Boodlebox is like a giant train that has all of the engines on it, and you pick which train powers the train, and we pay for gas. So, Google Gemini. We have the most updated version of Google Gemini and Meta's Llama. And I kind of like to touch on this. AIs have these things called context windows, right? And a context window is inherently the amount of food an AI can fit in its mouth, is what I like to say. Like the amount of information an AI can ingest. So, all of the models on Boodlebox have their own respective context windows. So, why does that matter? ChatGPT has a token context window of 250,000. Gemini has a token context window of 1 million tokens. Meta's Llama has a token context window of 10 million tokens. So inherently, Llama can ingest about 40 times more information than ChatGPT and about 10 times more than Gemini. So it's great for synthesizing information on Boodlebox. Amazon. Joke, don't tell Amazon I said this, but this is the worst model on the Boodlebox platform. So Amazon is way worse than all of the other models, but we keep it on there as an AI literacy point. So it's a great tool to go ask Amazon and ChatGPT the same question, and it does a great job of highlighting that these things are exactly what they are, right? They are a piece of technology that someone built, some are better, and some are worse. Mistral. So Mistral is a French large language model. We have GDPR compliance, which is Europe's very stringent data regulations. And since that, we've gotten connected with lots of European schools. And they weren't going to use Boodlebox until we had the European large language model in here. So it is kind of a testament to what we can do. So if any of you start using Boodlebox and there's a model that we don't have that you want in the platform, simply let me know. And we should be able to get it in within about a week or two. And I do like to touch on that, like Claude 4.5 Sonnet came out about a week and a half ago, and it's been in the Boodlebox platform for about a week. So I like to say we stay up to date for your institutions. Web research, we have Perplexity and Semantic Scholar. So if you've ever used Elicit or Research Rabbit, Semantic Scholar is what powers the back end of that. So inherently, Semantic Scholar gives you access to about 215 million research papers on a database. Then image generation. So we have all of these image generator models. And on this front, I like to talk about how image generation eats up a lot of tokens, right? It's very bad for the environment compared to just natural language prompting. But here on Boodlebox, we actually reduce environmental impact of AI by about 95% by using AI through Boodlebox rather than the big platforms themselves. And that's through a proprietary token reduction technology. And if people are interested, we can kind of dive into the weeds in that at the end. But inherently, we can use large language models more efficiently than they can use themselves. That's how we can offer all of these premium models at a very, very low cost, as well as reducing that environmental impact. So stepping away from large language models and moving into custom bots. So I'm lucky enough to work with about 200 educators from around the world, and those educators actually built these bots for us. So it's super cool. I like to say we partner with education. We work directly with faculty on how to make this platform better for them. So are these faculty members actually built these bots for us? So these are custom bots, custom GBTs that were built by teachers that understand AI for those that don't. So what this will do is this, like if I asked a class assignment bot, make me an assignment about George Washington. It's going to say, how many students do you have? What are the learning objectives? Things like that. So it's more iterative. We have these for just about anything from nonprofit to marketing. And I like to joke, don't worry, we do have them for home and gardening as well. So there's lots of different things that you can use these for, and there's bots for just about anything. You can build custom bots, which I'll show you how to do today on this presentation. And then I like to say, if you are more confused than when I started walking through the BoodleBox platform, I apologize, but you can come to this Discover and search whatever you want to do, and it'll recommend which bot or model for you to use. So, Perplexity search the internet, right? Just like Perplexity does. These are all live links and sources available here. But in that intro part of my presentation, I talked about AI literacy, right? Upskilling faculty is difficult. It's a very hard thing to do. People are busy. Learning AI is a whole new thing, right? But one thing you'll notice if you've ever used Perplexity is that they don't have model selection for academic needs. So this is the BoodleBox coach mode, hard at work right here. So what the coach mode will do is it will actually teach you how and why to use AI while you're using it. So it'll give you prompt engineering tips, feature discovery, alternative approaches, things like that. It's very, very, very helpful and one of the things that education really enjoys about our platform. So what I can do on BoodleBox is I can switch. So I can switch to Claude. And I can say, can you dive a bit deeper into that second bullet point? So all of the models on BoodleBox can understand each other. So while that's going, I'm going to check the chat really quick. Okay. So all of the models can communicate to one another. So Perplexity can talk to Claude. Claude can talk to ChatGPT. So there's two benefits to that. I mean, there's a lot more, but two big ones. I just kind of went through why each model's good at what, right? So you can use them kind of in synergy together. You can use Llama for synthesizing. You can use ChatGPT for writing. You can use Perplexity for search. So it's just another way to become AI fluent in all of the AI models. And I kind of, like I've said, you're going to hear me say it throughout this presentation. At BoodleBox, we teach a technology, not a singular tool. So by using BoodleBox, you're becoming fluent in AI, not just one company. The other big reason, hallucinations. I'm sure people here have heard of hallucinations. I like to say AI confidently lying about something. So when you act first, OpenAI released a paper about 3 weeks ago. And that said that hallucinations are not random, right? They're like errors baked into the system. But the thing that's interesting about that is that errors are baked in different places for different companies, right? So when you stack models on top of each other, it's called bot stacking, and it actually reduces hallucinations by up to 95%. I like to highlight that this is not just a BoodleBox thing, right? It's if you were to go to open ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini in 3 tabs in your computer and copy and paste outputs into them, it would do the same thing. But BoodleBox just makes this inherently very, very easy to do. So as you can see, Claude goes in, dives in, and then that educational experience, that coach mode is again going to jump in there. So I do want to kind of stop and does anyone have any questions? And then I'll continue.
Yes, we have a question in the chat. Is DeepMind on BoodleBox?
Okay, sorry.
DeepSeek. Okay, Cynthia. Yeah, DeepSeek is there. I know that.
Yeah. Yes. So DeepSeek is in there. I just have it turned off because we host it locally. It's completely safe, private, and secure, but at times it will hold up conversations because people don't believe me that it's safe, private, and secure. But I will show access control. So the AI models we have here, so I can turn DeepSeek on, and then if I turn DeepSeek on, and as an institution, you have control over this, right? So you can turn certain ones on and off for people if you want them to, or you can give them access to everything. But now, as you can see, DeepSeek is in here. So you can turn it on and off. But any other questions? Then I'll jump in to collaboration. Okay.
I have one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. There's another question.
So you said that this is safe. So does that mean that the other companies, the other AI, companies, do they have access to our data? What is happening with that?
Nope. So it's completely walled garden within BoodleBox. So I'll share I'll share the trust center in the Zoom chat. So pretty much we have a HECVAT, all the security things that you can think of, FERPA, SOC 1, Type 1, SOC 2, Type 2. So it's completely safe, private, and secure in that trust center. So like first, I'll go through kind of the process of that. I'm going to stop sharing so I can talk about this for a sec. So we are completely safe, private, and secure. So first, we have contractual agreements with every single one of those large language models that state they cannot train any models on our data and they can't store it for longer than 30 days. We also anonymize prompts. So when you watch me send a prompt to Perplexity, it was never coming from Zach to Perplexity. It was just coming from Boodlebox to Perplexity. On top of anonymization, we also encrypt knowledge end to end. So everything that gets put into these models in transit and at rest is completely encrypted. And then finally, we operate on a data minimization policy. So we don't even actually send all of the context every single time. And so I like to say, if the companies were to break contracts, unanonymize prompts, and unencrypt everything, they would still have piecemeal of what you would be sending to the large language model anyways. And that's all discussed very thoroughly in our trust center that I just sent. We're very transparent about security. And if you were to ask me, like, what's the number one thing we've done here at Boodlebox, it's like built a really good group of community educators and then safe, right? Super, 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 super safe. And to kind of a testament to that, right? I said, like, we work with the U.S. House of Representatives and NATO as well. And I kind of like to joke like those people care a lot about security. But any other questions? Then I'll jump back in.
Yeah, I have a question, Zach. And that's on one slide, and you talk about the collaborative AI operating system,
Yep.
and one is about institutional control, and you said deploy secure and private AI like LMS. How to do that? So for example, at Purdue University, we use Brightspace.
Yep.
So yeah, so how to make them work together?
So we currently have like single sign-on through all of the big large language or through all the big LMS systems. So it's like that seamless tech experience. But we are by like January, we're gonna be like integrating with the LMS systems much deeper. So it'll be like push-pull of material, push-pull of grades. Boodlebox will never iframe inside of the LMS, if that makes sense. We don't want to do
What does
that.
iframe mean?
It means like inside of Canvas or Brightspace. So like if you open Canvas,
Mhm.
it's never going to be like inside of it. They'll rather just talk to each other, if that makes sense.
So it's like having a link outside.
Yes.
I mean, a link to a space outside, to an operating space outside that operating space.
Yes, exactly. And like we have single sign-on currently set up. So like once you have single sign-on with your university, it's like that seamless tech experience, right? So you click the link and it just brings you there and you don't have to log in or anything like that.
And do the
Thank you.
universities agree? I'm sorry, but do universities agree to that, or is that a problem?
Oh, it's whatever the university wants. So we don't have to set it up, but if the university wants to set it up, happily can do that. Uh,
Zach, I have a question. So when Canvas starts talking with Boodlebox, what can Boodlebox do with the data that it can pull out from Canvas? So it has access to all the student submission, assignments, like
uh,
what, yeah,
that's
what can it do?
that's currently being worked on right now.
Okay.
So like we SSO is done. So single sign-on we can integrate with any LMS system. Second is like rostering and provisioning. So pretty much rostering, like you'll be able to pull your students from LMS into a team on Boodlebox, and I'll show you in the collaboration like why that matters and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, and then eventually it will be able to like pull modules, right? Push grades back, take material from the LMS, put it in Boodlebox, and take grades and things from Boodlebox and put it in the LMS. And that's probably January timeline
Mhm.
ish.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Cynthia.
But is Boodlebox using our modules or our information or what we've created in some way?
No. So we don't have any of our own models. That's like one of the cool things about it is that like we are educationally focused. We don't have any large language models. All that we do is a lot of the heavy lifting that your university would have to do to set this up themselves, right? Security, cost, environmental impact. We reduce both of these and make safety the number one priority. So it's like we pretty much give you access to every LLM that exists in a safe place. And you can use it and you can do whatever you choose with that, really, is kind of what I like to say. Great questions. I really appreciate this. So any other questions? And then I'll jump into collaboration. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to jump back in. And then that trust center, like that talks more about our security, I just sent in that Zoom chat. But everything on Boodlebox is completely collaborative. So if I grab this link right here, can you guys see my screen? Okay. If I grab this link right here and send this to you, we could all 14 of us on this Zoom call could all work in a group chat in real time. So I'm going to kind of walk through a few examples of what that looks like. So through all of my conversations I've had recently, I've kind of learned that discussion boards have slowly turned into two ChatGPTs talking to each other. It's kind of a funny thing that teachers have been saying. So one thing you can do in Boodlebox, and another point is we wholeheartedly believe that the human being is not currently at the center of the human AI interaction. How many of you have used ChatGPT before? Great. Every time you use ChatGPT, you talk, it talks. You talk, it talks. And there's no way to break that, right? So what we plan to do is be the catalyst that brings the human beings back to the center of the human AI collaboration. So as you can see here, there's like 4 students having a conversation, no AI. So what you can do is you can switch to message mode. And when you switch to message mode, it allows you to like send text messages pretty much to other people that large language models can understand. So you can do it through this message, or I can do a / here. And then what I can do is I can call ChatGPT into the conversation, and ChatGPT inherently understands everything that's going on. So it's multiple human beings, multiple large language models, all interacting in one cohesive, safe environment. Another example of this is a case study. So I built a custom bot for my students. This is a cafe coach supposed to walk them through this case study. So the custom bot starts. My students start having a conversation. They then work with the case study bot. They continue the conversation, and then they work with a large language model. So it's multiple people, custom bots, and large language models. Does anyone have any questions on this collaboration thing? It's very unique. We're the only company that does this. Cynthia?
Yeah, so you start off having the conversation with humans, then you turn on or you invite ChatGPT in. Then do you kick ChatGPT out and we have a discussion. Is that right?
So you can do whatever you want. So you can come in.
But I'm just trying to understand that process. You have to actually switch the mode then to
Yep.
not, yeah, okay, I see.
So it's like you turn that message mode on and you're talking to people. I also use it for context engineering, which is really cool. So what I'll do is I'll just like talk to large language models in message mode and then like pointedly use them, if that makes sense. So it's just a way to provide context into a conversation, whether it be for people or AIs. And then you can just call models in. Any other questions? Wonderful. Cool. So this folder system kind of set up is like, it looks a little scary, but inherently it's kind of set up like a Google ecosystem is what I like to say. So if I grab this link right here and I sent this to you, you would just be able to work and edit in that chat. If I sent you this discussion boards link, you would be able to see week 1 and week 2. And if I shared that management 101 folder with you, you'd be able to see everything below it. So it's like a nesting system. And one thing that we learned is that as educators, you do not want your jobs to be large language model output readers for the rest of time, right? So one thing that we can do here on Boodlebox is you can grab this and add a folder or a chat to the knowledge bank. And what the knowledge bank is where you can upload documents, right? So this is where I can upload PDFs, TXT files, CSV files, things like that, just like you could upload into any other AI software. And then you can bring them into chat. So if I want to access my knowledge bank in this chat, I can come here and I can stay organized with those folders. I grab this, pull it into a chat. But what I wanted to highlight is that I can grab students' folders and upload a rubric and have AI go analyze how the students were interacting with AI. I don't think it's great for grading. There's lots of opinions on that, but inherently AI is really good at apples and oranges, right? It's really good at saying this is different than this because of this. So what Boodlebox is great for is having all of your students go interact with like custom bots or something. Upload all of those into a singular chat and be like, holistically, what's the number one thing my students aren't understanding about this material? So it's more of a really cool way to get insight into how your students, yes, are using AI, but more importantly, right, like how they're interacting with the material. Then the group chats also, does anyone have any questions on that knowledge bank, uploading chats into chats? It's kind of a confusing concept, so I just want to double check. Cynthia?
Sorry, I have a lot of questions. So why are you calling it a knowledge bank? Because you're uploading all of the articles and then ChatGPT is using, or the AI tool is using all of those articles and the information in it to analyze the, like discussion board chats that people are having. Is that why are you calling it a knowledge?
I don't know why it's called a knowledge bank. That's just
Okay.
what
Okay.
the people call it.
All
But
right.
it's really like where you upload material.
Okay.
And it's got like I think we call it a knowledge bank because like inherently it is a bank of knowledge after you've used it for a while. But any other questions? Okay. I'm gonna check chat really quick. So the next thing I want to go into is the ability for collaboration. So I'm lucky enough to work with people from all over the world. I've spoken in Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, Singapore, all these really cool places. And right now I'm actually currently working with a hackathon. So I'm working with a school in Argentina, Croatia, Slovenia, and Rwanda. And we're using Boodlebox for all four of those people to be able to communicate with one another, which is really cool because the students don't necessarily speak the same languages. So I'm going to just kind of give an example of this. So I work with a lot of kids in Africa, like I mentioned. And this is an example of me working with my friend Sikle. He lives in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm working in English and Sikle is working completely in isiZulu. So you can seamlessly work with people that don't speak the same language as you in a group chat in Boodlebox. It's a very, very cool feature, very, very valuable for cross-cultural collaboration. So any questions on this? Then I'll keep going. We just got a few things to cover and then, yeah, Cynthia, keep the questions coming.
Yeah, sorry. But how do you know that you're actually understanding each other?
Uh, I don't know. They just like the person I was working with was just working. I can't speak Zulu, so I have no idea. But I okay, I can now confidently say that this can do any language, pretty much like 98% of languages. Uh, I've tested it with someone that can speak Eastern versus Western Malaysian, and it does an incredible job. Like trying to think of the other, a Filipino language that very minimal people speak. I was working with a guy that spoke it fluently, and he said Boodlebox did it perfect. Like it's just a large language model thing. The thing that's cool about it is like LLMs are really good at translating inherently, and the thing that Boodlebox just allows for you to do. So like whatever language you speak to it in, it will respond. So if you go on there and type in French, it will respond in French. If you type in English, it'll respond in English. So the thing I made, and then I made some custom bots that just auto translate everything. So the thing that's cool is you can have people working in a group chat and everyone's just speaking their home language and it's translating it to other languages. If that answers your question. Any other questions? Great. So now I'm going to go on the bot builder. Have people here ever built bots before? Just personal curiosity. Okay. So we're going to go through like a little, what is a custom bot? So a custom bot is like putting a box around the zip file of what is a large language model and saying you can only think, do, and act in these certain ways, is what I like to say. So this is my silly example, but it does do a great job of highlighting how this technology works. Whatever you write here instructs the AI on how to think. So if I say answer everything in a joke, and then I say, tell me about George Washington, tells me a joke about George Washington, right? So that's kind of a silly example of how it works, but it does do a great job of highlighting the technology. So now I'll kind of like walk through a better example, right? So these are some detailed instructions. I'll show you how I built these. If you can explain a problem, you can build a bot, is what I like to say. So this instructs the AI on how to think. You give a description and a greeting. And then this is where you can upload knowledge. So the knowledge, whatever you uploaded here is specifically trained on this material. And again, everything in Boodlebox is safe, private, and secure. We do not like it doesn't break copyright by uploading things in Boodlebox, is what I like to say. So it's no models are being trained on that. It's obviously up to institutional policies, but inherently whatever you upload in here is completely lock safe. Like I always joke with people, don't do this, but I would totally feel comfortable uploading my social security card onto Boodlebox. Obviously bad, don't do that, but it is like the level of security that I kind of like to a testament to. And then, like I said, inherently this is exactly the same as any other bot builder, but the thing that's unique about it is you can pick which model powers the backend. So you can pick which engine runs your custom bot, which is pretty cool. Does anyone have any questions on this? Cool. Okay. And if you like to build bots, if you've never built bots or you like to build them efficiently, just come to this assistant. That assistant will tell you how, when, and why to build bots. And kind of like an example of me building a bot is I built this case study bot. I uploaded a map of the case study and then a kind of write-up of what I wanted the case study to do. And then I just told Bot Builder, I want to do this. And then it wrote the description, the greeting, instructions, and it worked very, very, very well. So it's something that you can like use to build bots. And if anyone has any questions, please just shout them out. But last thing I'm going to cover is our assignments. So our assignments are kind of set up like an LMS system. So I have a course, I have a class within my course, within my class, I have an assignment. And what assignment is a short description, directions, learning objectives, and then you can sandbox Boodlebox within Boodlebox. So you can say you can only use this custom bot and these large language models, or you can only use these large language models, if that makes sense. And then the setting, you can turn that coach mode on and off, whether you want it to be on for your students or not. And then after you share this with your students, you have a 30,000 foot view of exactly how your students are working with the assignment. Not only can you see what they're doing after they submit, but you can also see it in real time. So I can go see exactly how Rob Autry was using this. And if I wanted to, as you can see, I can even jump in here and prompt for him. So this is a place to like have complete oversight into how your students are using AI start to finish. Does anyone have any questions on this assignment feature?
I have a question. So the bot and you build within Boodlebox.
Yep.
So when I want my student to use that bot, but students have to be able to access to
Boodlebox.
Boodlebox, right?
So if you build a bot, great question. If you build a bot and you want your students to use it and they don't have access to Boodlebox, just build it on one of these free models. Sorry. And if you build it on the free model, they can use it unlimitedly. I'm very proud to say we do not charge for security. So the free version of Boodlebox is just as safe as the paid version of Boodlebox. And the only thing you have to pay for, so the collaboration, folders, building bots, all of that's completely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the model usage. So if you use free models for everything, zero charge. But you can use these, the premium models, 5 times in a 24-hour period on the free version.
But if you want to use the collaborative feature, and you have to pay, right?
No, completely free.
No, as a teacher, and if you want to build your own classroom and to manage your class there.
It is free. Like that is like literally the only thing you have to pay for is the model usage. I would just say that like it's more valuable to use the models, right? So the like infrastructure is completely free. So you can use all of this for free.
Do we
So-
pay?
Yeah.
How much do we pay?
Very, very like it's very malleable is what I like to say. So if you were to just go sign up right now, like Joe outside could go sign up for Boodlebox and it would be $16 a month, 16. We have like 3 levels of pricing though. So we have a $15,000 pilot. So inherently you can get 800 users for a semester for $15,000. Then we have user-based pricing. So what that means is it's about $8 to $15 a month, depending on how many students you have or faculty you have. and let's say you had 1,000 people sign up, but only 100 of them actually used Boodlebox in a month, you would only pay 100 times your monthly rate. So it's based on like active users, and active users is 5 premium prompts in a 24-hour period. So that means you're active. And then third, we obviously have like an FTE. And the thing that's cool about the FTE model is we can do it for a college or a university. So like the business school can buy FTE or the whole university can buy FTE. And that's about $40 to $52 per year, unlimited usage. And you only pay for full-time faculty, FTE of faculty and FTE of student. All part-time faculty, student, and staff get it for free. That's the pricing models. And the last thing I want to say is, as you can see, when you use Boodlebox, you build up this like bank of things that you did. So when your students graduate, what you can allow them to do is update their user email. And when they update their user email, inherently what it allows them to do is bring all this with them. So what you're doing by allowing your students to use Boodlebox is you're literally building them an AI resume that proves fluency in every single large language model, as well as the customization of AI tools that they can bring with them to a job interview. But that's Boodlebox. I know we got about 17 minutes left, but any questions? That's really my presentation.
We have a question in the chat. Is anyone using bots for
Yes.
skill specific?
Yes, it is. For individuals, it's $16 a month. But sorry, answering 2 questions at one time. Is anyone using bots for skill specific language learning practice? Yes, 100%. So the one thing I like to say is the number one thing at Boodlebox that we've built is a super awesome community of thousands of educators from around the world. So if anyone ever wants to like use Boodlebox to build something, right? I can help you. Happy to help. I'll share my LinkedIn and email in the chat here in a second. But I also can connect you with other faculty members that are doing cool things. I like to say literally there's someone who's using Boodlebox for anything at this point is kind of what I like to say from any class. I will share a 3-month free code with everyone on this Zoom call because I very much appreciate you joining me on a Saturday morning. And what this will allow for you to do is use Boodlebox for free for 3 months. But the thing I do want to let everyone know is you do have to put a credit card in. I'm going to share my email. Shoot me an email when you put your card in, and I will go remove your card so that it like doesn't get charged at any point. But it's just because like random people can go buy Boodlebox, so we have to have that paywall set up. But I'm going to share my email. Share my email, a code, and my LinkedIn. But any other questions? Okay. If I subscribe to Boodlebox as a teacher and create an assignment, can student do the assignment on Boodlebox? Yes, they can. You just have to share the link with them. So I'll show you.
So they're working in Boodlebox. And is it being saved in Boodlebox to my account? Is that the way it works?
Yep. So if
Okay.
you build an assignment, can you see my screen? Of course, you just share it with them like this. And then like if your institution, like if you buy it for the group or something, you can like add them in other ways. But like if you just want them to use it and they don't have accounts, you just do it with the free version. You send them this link and and then you'll be able to see everything they're doing.
But am I doing it with the free, but let's say I have the account. Am I still doing it with the free version? I guess I don't, I'm sharing a link that is in the free version, or how does that work?
So no, so like I said, the only thing the difference between paid and free is model usage. So if you shared this with them, they would just be able to use the free models, but you could use the premium ones because
Okay, okay, good.
And
Yeah, I don't know how to get to, I mean, I work at City University of New York, so, it's 26 colleges. This would be great. I'm gonna look at the recording and talk to some people. So, institution wise, I don't know I wouldn't know how to, I mean, I'll send it to the IT people. I think this is great. Yeah, but, right now it would have to be, the pathway has to be through individual teachers who would buy into it.
Yep. And we also do have some people at your university that are using Boodlebox. Huge place though, I've learned. But a thing I want to mention is that if anyone ever wants to like chat with me one-on-one, happy to do so. I like to tell people the favorite part of my job is I just get to learn a bunch of random things about a bunch of random things, helping educators do this stuff. Love it. So if anyone ever has any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I very much appreciate it. Like I said, I sent that free code, 3 months for anyone that was on here. Feel free to share it with faculty that you work with. But I don't know. That's that.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah,
Mhm.
I have another question. And also, if we use the 3 month free code and then we build our own classroom, I put my students there, and can the students use the premium model or only free model?
If you want to set up a pilot, let's just chat. And I like that's the thing I tell everyone is like if you want to get your class on it, we can get that set up to try it. Just shoot me an email.
This is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for asking all the questions. Really appreciate it. I forget to talk about stuff, and it's fun when people ask questions because it reminds me.
Yeah. Could you find the pricing model on the website?
Yes. And if like I can like we have a great sorry, you guys are up on my other monitor. We have a great team. So if anyone needs like you want to see ballpark what your university would look like, and then like I said, we do like departments and universities and individuals. So if you want to get like a hey Zach, how much would this cost? Just shoot me an email. And I'll send you like a proposal of what it would look like. And just let me know numbers and we'll get that back to you super soon. But I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend. Yes.
You too. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.